James comes to breakfast. A James the Red Engine story. Edward the Blue Engine for Hire, Part 1. James is a splendid red engine. He thinks there's no one splendider than him. So he keeps on looking clean and as painted as ever. And it's all because of his great driver. One day, they stopped at a station to chat to each other. "You just know where to stop, James. You can almost manage it without me," said his driver. James was becoming conceited. He didn't realize his driver was joking. That evening, James said, "Driver says I don't need him now." "Don't be silly. You wouldn't do that," said Murdoch. "I never go without my driver, you know," said Toby. "I'd sure to be frightened." "I'm not scared, guys." "You'd never dare," interrupted Toby. "Yes, I will," James interrupted back. "You wait and see." It was early the next morning when the firelighter came. James sizzled happily while the warmth spread through his firebox. Murdoch and Toby were still sleeping. Then James remembered his boast. "Silly stick in the muds. I'll be sure to get myself going. Driver says I don't need him now." James started to puff out of his shed and onto the turntable, but he didn't know that a careless cleaner had fiddled with his controls. He soon found his mistake. He tried to stop, but he couldn't. He tried to wheeze, but he couldn't. He tried to blow his whistle, but he couldn't do that either. All he could do was move, and he kept on rolling along. He didn't look at what was going to happen next. There was the watchman's house. The watchman was about to have breakfast. "Oh boy," said James to himself, and shut his eyes. The house rocked, broken glass tingled, and plaster was everywhere. The watchman quickly rushed out to shut off James's steam. "Look at what you've done to my breakfast. I'm going to need to cook some more now," said the watchman's wife. She banged the door on her way to the kitchen. More plaster fell, and this time it fell on James. Soon Spencer arrived later. He helped and pulled James back out of the house and onto the tracks again. As he was pulling it out, the work made his boiler burn fiercely, as well as his fire. But he was able to get James out. "You look silly," said Spencer, and he rushed away. James was covered in glass and a fence, on plaster. He looked silly. "You're a very disobedient engine," said a voice. It was Sir Topham Hatt. "You have damaged yourself and the house." "I know, sir. I'm sorry, sir," said a muffled James. "You must be mended at once. Meanwhile, Chad, the mixed traffic tank engine who's passing by right now, will do your work for you until you're repaired." "Mixed traffic tank engine, sir?" said James. "Yes. He always stays in his shed and never runs off to breakfast." "Breakfast in the watchman's house," said James. Wow, what a crappy ending for James, but a happy ending for all of us viewers. James will be sent to the works and Chad will take his place, and you will also learn a lesson because he does not like troublesome trucks. So we'll see you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching.